And welcome to the NXT review. We are the Dadley Boyz of WhatCulture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hanfler and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT 2K. Oh, I missed a bit out.
No.
Okay, well, right on SmackDown.
Great, mate.
AEW Dynamite Collision pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, they're joined by Hamlet Sidgwick to review NXT Getting Extreme.
We changed the collision to like sort of, you dumb and stupid.
Yeah, we did our Dynamite review earlier. It's well worth checking that out.
Yeah. God. Depends, if you're happy with the product, don't watch that. Or listen to it.
What a, well, I was going to say what a sad Wednesday Night War this was because both shows sucked, but what a sad person I was for getting up at 3:30 with optimism for both, because this was a massive letdown of a show.
Helps if you honestly don't have expectations. It helps.
High on atmosphere and not a lot else. Genuinely, I thought the crowd were pretty great for the whole thing. The room looked and sounded tremendous, as we kind of knew it would, and even then, didn't quite get it spot on. Did a good job, not a great job. And there's maybe two things I truly liked on this. The rest were disappointments in their own unique ways.
I thought this is so bleak. What the I've given you enough swears to, so I'll try not to.
Thank you.
There's one thing I'm going to laugh at because it was hysterically bad. What are we doing here? AEW's TNA. On the subject of TNA, NXT is doing ECW nostalgia that TNA was doing 13 years ago. What are we doing on American cable TV? Why is no other wrestling that I can be asked to watch really, really good? If there was I hear that All Japan is taken up. I need something. I genuinely need something.
SmackDown?
Friday nights, baby.
Hate us both so much.
You enjoyed it whilst I was off, he told me.
He said All Japan. That's like a perfect feed line.
I know. I need something, man. I need something, so I'm not getting anything. Honestly, United States television wrestling absolutely stinks. It stinks. We're killing people with cars. We're getting Rhino out. No offense. I love you, Rhino. But I loved you. Leave the past where it lies. ECW Nostalgia 2024. You me?
I had loads of fun watching.
Yeah, I know you
show.
did. Yeah,
It's great. Nice bit of
great.
ECW nostalgia. Lovely stuff. Bit of Rhino out there.
what you can do instead?
What?
Just watch the ECW shows.
And interact with my favourite stars from NXT. So
That's a good point, actually, yeah.
it was really violent stuff on this show. It was a hardcore match with a particularly worrying spot that we'll get to.
We need to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, trust me. Honestly, I was scared.
I don't trust you.
And there was, one of the greatest North American title matches I've ever seen, in my opinion. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
When are you
Ecstatic. I was ecstatic.
You know who you remind me of? Bruce Pritchard.
Go on.
You know when you watch the Mr. McMahon documentary, bearing in mind he's been sort of licking his lips at the idea of just being able to say on these the rise and fall of WCW DVDs and the Monday Night Wars network thing, licking his lips at the idea of I get to bury those Southern WCW, go back to the WCW. You know what I mean? He's been he somehow is able to just turn it on every single time because he's a carny. Who is disingenuous, even though he probably loves it.
When you're going to get to me, but yeah, go on.
No, I think my point speaks for itself. Bruce.
Well, we'll get into it. Show opened with the ECW intro that you got very excited about the other day.
Did like that. I really liked the setup for it of just how beautiful Philadelphia looked. All of us got to be in that wonderful city.
Yeah, that was some nice flashbacks.
Birthplace of America, like the amazing like sort of scenery there, then the skyline by night. And it was very on the nose, but it was like, and now a street with barbed wire, a glass bottle, an alleyway.
You've taken a wrong turn.
That alleyway is shoot right next to the ECW Arena, and I was scared of it at night time too. And then, even then they get it wrong, because like Vic Joseph, like, he's done this big build, the music's still playing, and and it says, and for one night, NXT is at the 2300 Arena. Just say ECW. You're edging me, Vic. And then we got there, and then it was too late. And then we got to the hot action from the stage that didn't.
Trick and Bubba at Gino's. Did you go to there when you?
Yes, did go to Gino's. Not there. There was two of the big ones in Philadelphia, and Gino's was the decent one. Apparently, the other big brand one ain't so good. Al, I don't know. It was like there was the two rival Philly cheesesteak places. I can't remember the other.
We went to Ishka Bibbles, didn't we?
Yes,
It was class. That was
nice.
awesome. That was very much like
did the business.
That's not where the tourists go. Is where the locals go. I don't like doing that voice. Javon Evans was at the Liberty Bell. There was the nasty group of 5 on the waterfront, and the cool 5 were on the rocky steps, of course. There's also someone dressed like Hat Guy.
CM Punk must have been watching that. So confused and conflicted.
I know.
5 women of NXT, yes, but what the hell is that?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
But we got hardcore straight out of the gate with Dawn Marie as a special guest referee for Jada Parker versus Lola Vice.
Oh, boy.
This was brutal, this. Jada Parker jumps Lola Vice to start, but Lola Vice spinning back fists a chair into her face. There's chairs wedged between ropes. There's chairs chucked all over the ring. And there's chair shots left, right, and centre. Lola Vice at one point tries to get a table, but Jada Parker shoves it back and does something like that. It's great. Lola grabs Jada and hits a soup.
Even more old stuff, if anything.
The suplex onto a chair.
There's an Eddie Guerrero tribute spot in here as well. Yeah. So like all old stuff's automatically goated.
There was a double clothesline on the floor. That takes us to our break. When we come back, rings full of chairs and ladders and trayish cans and Singapore canes, of course.
All the positions.
Vice gets popped on a ladder that's bridged between the ropes, and Jada Parker jumps off another ladder to hit that teardrop senton of hers.
Gunky mess of crap in it.
Yeah. And you can't. I went deaf for a second because the crowd are muted for swearing too much.
But they were blurred later for swearing as well. They don't give a damn in Philly.
No.
Tommy Dreamer could have told you. These people, they might swear up a storm, but you will not feel love in your hearts like you will from the city of brotherly love. That's where they got the name.
They twat each other with Singapore canes. Jada Parker gets a trayish can put over her head. Lola hits some spin kicks. There's a knee strike. Lola Vice gets another kendo stick and twats her with it. There's a hip smash after Lola puts the can back on Jada's head. That gets a 2 count.
I love our catchphrase is, I'm a Latina.
It's also the start of the Def Rebel theme.
Yeah.
Jada goes under the ring, throws another trash can at Lola Vice, and nails her with some kendo stick shots. Jada hits her with a trash can lid, sidewalk slam into a set-up steel chair. That was horrible, that did. Jada hits a hip smash, sending Lola into a ladder to get a 2 count. In the end, Lola Vice has got Jada Parker trapped in a chokehold, but then she's scrabbling around, and Jada Parker picks up a shoot brick and nails Lola Vice in the face with it. That only gets a 2 count, though. And Jada Parker hits her with a brutal hip attack finisher to get a 1, 2, 3 and win this hardcore match.
You're taking the absolute piss. I know you are, but like, are they? And I expect more of NXT than I do of you.
Yeah, fair.
She smashed her full in the face with a brick that exploded everywhere, by the way.
Yeah.
Awful.
You can see everything.
Yeah. For a close 2.
Yeah.
She bumped into her with her ace. Got the 3. That was the...
Her health bar was down to 1%, and then it just... Boop. Ace smash.
I tell you what, she was reaching, clawing, scratching and clawing, if you will, for this brick. I was like, is that a f***ing sponge?
It was weird looking. It was like thin, wasn't it?
It wasn't a brick, mate.
This is made of dust and paper.
They go douche dust to the face, all the old dust. Brick dust. Like the Goldust when he's got a stiffy.
What was the other one we get with cum dust? Was it? We go with
cum dust, yeah. Brick dust is when he got a sniffy. Cum dust is when he manipulates himself to issue. I was like, all right, okay, well, that's the worst break I've ever seen, but at least it's a finish. Like, how many levels of bad can we get to here? The prop is awful. The idea of the brick being a brick is awful because it's not a brick.
No.
And the idea of, all right, well, I suppose I have to take it seriously as a brick. They're telling me it's a brick. They're selling it like it's a brick, except they're not selling it like it's a brick because they got a 2 count. What are we doing here? Everything preceding this was an absolutely bang average mediocre, if not worse, because there was so many, I have to use this weapon to use this weapon. It was so clunky. Just grab a weapon and hit Bray people with it. Even John Cena knew to do that.
It was just so boring.
The most contrived, I must do this. Shut up. God, I hate wrestling, man. It's absolutely rubbish.
We were talking about this with the fight without Honor on Dynamite, and both of them were such massive, not even letdowns, because the expectations weren't high for these individual matches. I'm just saying, when you advertise, like, they were trying to talk up, and this is bollocks, because there's a weapons-based women's match pretty much every other week, but they were talking up as like, there's never been a hardcore match between 2 women before. No,
there was one last week.
Every name.
There was one last week. There was a hardcore themed match last week.
Substantially better one last week with better weapons shot, and that's the point. Like, I just hitting each other with stuff. It was so, like, just trudging through the sludge of the same old shit. Like, I just couldn't possibly care for trying about any of it. The one moment where I was like, was that they used, like, an ECW ladder, as in a bad one. Like, this wasn't, the ladder was kind of like the kind of old Stairway to Hell. Is someone going to fall off that? Yeah, it's not because the ladder's rubbish, but wonky, cheapskate. Because like WWE ladders, you almost never see them over here.
Might be the LSD.
To the point where you do see a WWE ladder, you're a bit like, well, I want to climb that and get the briefcase. Because they're just not commonplace, are they? No. ECW seemingly couldn't find any either. It would just be like, you can't climb that side, man. There's no rungs on it. Like, this was that. And I was like, that's cool. But that's authentic.
Detail.
Yeah, authentic, but...
I mean, on the subject of authenticity, this is not one to stand.
Then these are paper and dust break for 2 counts, so authenticity went out the window. Hate bricks in wrestling, me. Like, they almost never get it right. Hangman Page and Swerve were so amazing because it was a scrape.
It was horrible, that one, yeah.
As opposed to, like, the end
of this was closer, wasn't it, mate?
No, I'd give that. I'll
do the bit.
I'll be fair. What was it? It was a cinder block, wasn't it, for
NWO, Keith Lee and Swerve.
And Keith, yeah, is the one I'm thinking of.
It's one of my least favorite things. One of my least favorite things. So stupid. This is stupid or dumb. AEW, wherever you get your podcasts from.
Oh no! Shot him with a gun. 1, 2. Oh, kicks out. Rainbuster, small package.
Either page.
I was watching in research of a video essay that I
I'm
might
excited
be
for this.
doing soon. Jake Roberts doing this just a clip of him talking about psychology and stuff on an old shoot interview, and he does this big elaborate like, oh, you do this and you do this and you do this, and you kill the guy, you do 50 moves, you get the sledgehammer, blah 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 blah, and then you get the normal move for the finish. He's trying to illustrate using an exaggerated example how far in his mind and his way of doing things wrestling has fallen off, because it was in the early 2000s. That was this match. Yeah. His hypothetical example of the dumbest possible wrestling match was this match.
And it's in the opener. Oh, he's a brick in the opener.
Yeah.
Probably calls a showdown now.
Ethan Page and Ridge Holland are by the Rocky statue. Ethan Page says they're here to ruin the nostalgia. Ridge says Ethan wants to be NXT champion, but he needs to be. So they're working together. Ridge says this city saw Trick's highlight, of course, but he's going to drag him down. And Page promises no tables for their tag match later on.
Nice payoff to that later.
Yeah. Kalani Jordan's warming up. RVD turns up and says he's impressed.
Wait a minute, I missed that bit.
What?
What did you just talk about?
The Ethan Page Ridge Holland bit.
Yeah, what did they say?
They said that the reason why they're working together is because he needs to be NXT champion. No, he wants to be NXT champion, but I need to be. And Ridge says, I'm going to batter you in the place where you had your best moment, basically. And Page promised no tables.
Okay.
Trick's Philly law is that he won the title at Stand and Deliver.
Yes.
That's like, in the might, it's the same as Bubba Ray in a way.
Yeah.
Like they've been in the city once.
Yeah.
Even you can't be arsed with these two.
Kalani's doing the split.
It says so much.
Doing this
Terrible deadline main event, that. Atrocious.
Told you we're not buying it for the title match.
The Rumble of NXT, isn't
I
it?
said this before. It's the Rumble of NXT.
Oh, we're not buying it. We're not clubbing together our money to pay for Deadline for the title match. We're doing it for the Iron Survivor.
Best new match type in wrestling, baby. Yeah. Kalani's warming up. RVD says how impressed he is with her. RVD says, look, you want to stand out, you got to beat Fallon Henley. And Kalani says, oh, if you're looking for Ava, by the way, her office is that way. And Kalani leaves, and then suddenly the camera gets knocked over. So you don't see this, but Wes Lee effectively comes in and lays out RVD with chair shots, saying, I've made the decision for you.
Why was the camera there? To get knocked over to hide the bump?
Yeah. The camera was there, so you knew what happened. I assume RVD just couldn't take the bump.
No, I know that. In kayfabe, Kalani Jordan is warming up for the match.
Which is the coded language used to do.
Rob Van Dam has given us some advice that ideally they would want to keep secret from their opponents because it directly involves JC Jane. And then the camera gets knocked over. No, JC Jane. Why was it there?
Because they're just warming up together. The cameraman's going to move from where they're warming up if the camera crew's just rushed in there, mate.
Going backstage. This was really, really dumb and foreshadowed a bad night for the use of Rob Van Dam.
Oh, that's fine. That's nice.
Yes, this was lovely. This means a lot to her. But
maybe I was just in a good mood because I know what comes next. The D'Angelo family are there. Sean Spears and Brooks Jensen walk up. And Tony's like, oh, what are you doing? Following me? And they piss off. Who cares about them? Because Nunzio and Tony Marmaluke show up, and Nunzio says, oh!
You're going to have to do a new Italian accent.
Just realised this as I'm about to do it.
We're going to point this out.
Yeah. So you started with you going down a slide.
Okay.
So you've done Santino.
Yeah.
You've done them all really.
Yeah. Okay.
All three positions.
Okay. Oh, hey guys, Tom Marvel, look what we have here, the freaking D'Angelo crew.
It sounds like your other ones.
I don't think I've done an accent like that
I've
before,
never heard Tony D'Angelo go down a slide.
That was Nunzio. Lucas says, we are a family and not a crew. And Nunzio says, hey, family, crew, whatever. Right now we're here to talk to Tony. What's the matter, Tony? Your phone broken? I know I called you, left a message. You didn't call me back. Everybody calls when Nunzio back. That's my Nunzio impression.
It's really good. Yeah. It's like he's in the room.
Tony says, oh, relax, all right? I meant no disrespect. And Nunzio says, well, disrespect's already been taken. Sorry, it's already been felt.
Getting into character. It's the same one as the other one.
And Tony Marlon says, you didn't call us. I made a phone call
Is this the race? Is this the race?
No, it's all deep review, isn't it? It's just the race is all like,
we don't do bits.
We don't do bits.
You didn't call us. I made a phone call myself. Headache. Call you next week. The Riz, you there? You are face to face against the Keto Lions. Tony says, oh, we got a little power now, huh? And Nunzio says,
oh, Christ.
Nunzio says, we always have power in Southville. I'm going to show you how much power we have. You're going to pay a tax. You know what that tax is, Tony? Tonight, that NXT North American Championship will be defended right here in South Philly versus me. So he says, oh, you sure you want to do that? Nunzio says, oh, I'm positive, let's go. And then Stacks says something like, you sure about that, boys?
You kind of do him.
I can't do him.
No.
Try.
You do the rest, but...
yeah, one.
Well,
told you it was a good show.
You know what? You know how you can get the new accent if they ever come back, which I don't think you'll ever see this again in the entire life. Have you seen... I haven't seen the film. I haven't seen the motion picture. But every now and then, for whatever reason, you know, like we talk about Instagram Reels now, the algorithm decides it wants something. Have you heard Jared Leto doing House of Gucci?
No.
The difference between chocolato and So you can just look it up, right? Okay, look that up. They may look the same, but very different. Chocolato and So let's do that.
Okay, we'll do. I'll remember that for next time. Thoughts on this segment?
I will never forget the family's meeting, ever.
It was great, wasn't it?
That was.
Yeah, all of it was.
Right, this was, genuinely, earnestly liked all of this, like the idea and the execution of the whole thing.
Good fun, wasn't it? Yeah, that was good fun.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. I kind of watch these things. Wilborn will like this.
Yeah.
Wilborn will like this.
I really enjoyed the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think ultimately because I like the payoff quite a lot, all of this stuff. It was tick NXT/ECW. You got this one right.
Then it was time for Javon Evans versus Wes Lee. Wes slaps him at the start. Evans went for an early springboard cutter, but Lee blocked it. Evans got a roll up for 2 and a springboard Rana and a drop kick that sent Lee out of the ring. Evans slide out the side of the ring, but Lee hit him with a 619 around the steel post. Lee tried a suplex on the steps. Evans blocked it, but Lee hit a brainbuster onto the steps to take us to a break. When we come back, Lee and Evans are fighting on the ropes. Evans gets knocked down, but leaps up and hits a super Rana off there. There's also a back suplex to Wes Lee following that, but Wes Lee lands on his feet, hits a super kick and a poison Rana and a cardiac kick to get a great near fall. Evans comes back with a cutter and then one from the top rope as well, but Wes Lee goes to the outside. Evans leaps for a dive and Lee chucks him across the announce booth. Lee constantly keeps going for a chair at this point. He rolls Evans back into the ring, and this time he grabs it and goes to go back in. But here comes RVD to make the save. Lee swings the chair at him. RVD moves. Evans leaps onto Lee from the ring, sends him back in, hits a top rope cutter, sets up. You think, he's rolled too far away, and then Javon Evans yet again defies gravity by flying with a huge frog splash across the ring to get the 1, 2, 3.
There was some good and bad to this. I actually think these two have got a better match in them, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt for now because it felt like the booking, with it not being a 3-way with Van Dam or with so much resting on the inevitable Rob Van Dam appearance, it was hard to watch this and feel like this is that kind of end of the world fight between two rivals when you know that Van Dam's got to get involved. So I'm not saying they were holding anything back because they absolutely weren't. If you go move by move, you know, they were certainly delivering some of the big stuff that they're capable of. But there was just an air about the match that this is not really the one.
They know they can run it back with Wes Lee saying, well, if you don't have your mate in your corner. Yeah.
And maybe just a different, a different tone to the whole thing that isn't attached to this sort of nostalgia show, albeit with some pretty decent stuff, especially from Javon Evans, I thought, who, again, is it is a shame the Orton thing happened. He's not ready, but almost every other night he has a great night, and that was the one where he didn't. And then it got really rubbish and really weird because the Rob Van Dam run-in was a bit of a mess for me. So he was
working on Dynamite last year.
This is what I mean. This is a man that was doing...
He mustn't be able to do anything.
Discus leg drops on Dynamite. Is there a difference in how you get cleared by WWE and their doctors or something? Because obviously the thing was here, maybe he's injured and we don't know. And
that's what I was thinking.
Or whatever. But so they kind of found themselves, obviously with no other option, but to come up with stuff that involved him literally doing nothing. But it was so obvious he could do nothing. Even when there wasn't even a struggle for the chair, but you're could be a Van Daminator, and it's nothing. It's just duck and move and then back in the ring again. Oh, thanks for coming, Rob. Underwhelming. The frog splash was tremendous. What a cool idea. You can
It looked a bit wonky, but good as a result. It was weird.
You've trusted in your body to make it pretty much the entire length of the ring diagonally to hit that move. He kind of catches his shins almost as he falls, but totally worth going for and good enough.
If you haven't seen it,
to justify it.
If you haven't seen it, why watch it? Why would you watch NXT? It's like a Van Froginator. Because he clears the length of the breadth of the ring, but with a frog splash instead of a Van Terminator.
Yeah.
The match I thought it was just okay. A little bit. Even I've got a lot of latitude towards this style. I'm numb to it, but I've got latitude towards it in terms of logic. Nothing makes sense if you scrutinise it. Some of it was a bit loose even for me. That thing that Javon Evans do when he can do the Andrade Tranquillo pose and then pop back up in one ridiculous motion. I find it ridiculous. That looked awesome. It was weird, that RVD thing when he had to just be a distraction. And then after all that, it's just a regular run-of-the-mill dive. I don't think it's escalated in terms of this sort of like. I just don't think it built correctly. Because that dive was just. I was just like, you've already got the expectation. Oh, Rob Van Dam's doing nothing, and then he's just distracted him so he can do something that you would usually see 2 minutes into this style of match. Thought that was odd, and honestly, it was so dumb. Like, they were treating, well, Vic Joseph, who's just, no offense, mate, he's a bit rubbish, on commentary was almost treating Rob Van Dam, because he can't do anything, as if he was a human urn to Javon Evans. He's doing it because Rob Van Dam's there, because it's not an urn.
Speaking of which, this was the commentary table fight of the week between these two.
Oh, they were at it all night.
Like, it's every week now between these two.
It's great, isn't it?
And
so much fun.
And I can't work out how much is a work, because Booker T would piss you off. He would. But, like, he's got, like, Vic Joseph has obviously got to get this corporate mandated thing out, like, and he's making a statement on behalf of Rob Van Dam, I think is the line. But then Booker T just keeps cutting him off, like, what's Rob Van Dam doing here? Rob Van Dam's like, why is he here? What's Rob Van Dam? Like, you just irrationally annoyed with Rob Van Dam, and that's not even the most irrationally annoyed Booker T would get on this show. Like, it's Rob Van Dam, Vic. And then Vic Joseph just cuts across him and goes, Buck, let me make my statement. And then says, but he's had the word statement in his head, so he's like, we're making a statement with the 5-star brand splash.
It's an ECW reunion book. That's why he's here.
It'd be funny if he'd just gone, I always thought ECW was better with one commentator book.
Anyway, Ava's walking backstage. Eddie Thorpe tries to talk to her again, but this time. Sorry, Ava. She's got the same. She's Rock's daughter, general manager of NXT.
Who's she with?
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, okay.
Because Eddie Thorpe tries to talk to her, and she says, I'm busy, but we'll get to it. Eddie's like, that's twice now.
Heel turn's coming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sick of DJing and nobody.
But Ava then, we cut, is in the ring, getting a huge reaction. Ava chants.
That was something, wasn't it?
That's proper ECW, that is.
I think everybody got a free Rock t-shirt on the way in.
But she's not just the only ones.
They're used to their nepotistic general managers, aren't they? The ECW faithful.
They sure are.
Get it?
But Ava's it's not just her in there, it's also her assistants. There was Stevie there, but there was another one who I recognise, but his name completely escapes me.
Robert Stone.
She says, it's an honour for NXT to be in such a historic arena. This brand's about passion. Philly fans are the most passionate in all of wrestling.
Stop talking about passion. You display it in your actual creative.
And then the excitement.
Show it, don't tell it. For once.
Excitement of everybody.
Oh my God.
NXT Deadline is coming to Minneapolis on December 7th. Get it in your diary. The Iron Survivor match is back. Let's go.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been crossing off those dates on the calendar.
No, you haven't.
Since last
Honestly.
December. I love it. I
know you
There
like
has
it.
never been a bad Iron Survivor match, ever.
If you think about the potential talent and the stakes, that women's Iron Survivor match could be fantastic. There is a lineup of contenders, and you're really curious to see which way it'll go and all that sort of stuff. Could be really, really strong. Sort of like the perfect gimmick for where that division's at right now.
And then not Steve, the other one. What was his name?
Bloody World War III would be the perfect gimmick for that. There's too many of them, that's what I'm saying.
Not Stevie or Ava, the other one. What was his name again?
Robert Stone.
Thank you. He says, come on, don't lie to the people. New York fans are way more passionate than Philly fans. That gets them riled up, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Very cross.
And he says, Boston fans are even more hardcore than Philly. Philly was the talk of the town in the ECW days, but the time has passed. The lights go down. When they come back up, Rhino's in the ring. Gore! To, what was his name again?
Robert Stone.
Thank you.
I haven't let you talk first on WWE. I don't really care as much.
Yeah, a couple of big problems with this, actually. Well, it wasn't Sabu. It wasn't the Sandman. We knew it wasn't going to be Taz. And there were a few others before you get to Rhino and when the lights go off and they come back on again. So
stop getting Extreme Championship Wrestling wrong.
You get an ECW wrong, NXT. And so too, apparently, are the people in the ECW Arena. Because if you ever heard pin drop silence to lights going off, I swear those people in Philly genuinely thought there was a power cut. Lights are off.
What's this?
Hope they get fixed soon.
Lights out?
Huh? But when did you wrestle last week? Like, listen to it again. The lights out. It's the reason why Tony Khan nicked it, because he has memories of what that felt like. And
it was just like, who could this possibly be?
Yeah.
It could be Brian Pillman. It could be anybody. It could be Brian Pillman.
There'd be like the odd flashbulb where somebody tried to capture something, screams, excitement, tension, the lot. This has nothing. I've never seen a lights out spot get nothing.
No, ECW fans are just the Fed fans in town.
But like, I'm a Fed fan. I know what the lights out means. Get hyped. Lights going out when they come back on. Someone you weren't expecting. Like,
what's this EW crap? that's what probably they were thinking.
Undertaker. But it was rubbish. Real letdown.
It was real extreme.
And it was, yeah. I sometimes wonder what I could have done down there.
Wonder Bell probably.
We'll see if New Jack's phony tough and crazy brave.
Dances with Dudley. How about do the business with Dudley instead? God damn it!
I'd like to see if the gangsters met the Brothers of Destruction. We'll see what they did to Public Enemy. They came up here, we kicked their ass, we sent them back to WCW.
You jumped up a little bit.
Savio, get on down to Philly. All those guys out to play bones.
Spike Dudley, a crap bigger than that. Ain't that right, Kane?
Oh, the Kane's there.
Undertaker, imagine, like, especially 90s Undertaker. Purple gloves a lot. Down in the ECW Arena. Yeah. Lights off.
What's your name? Balls, man.
More like ass Mahoney, son.
I got more sack time than you've had shower time, and don't ask me what that means, balls.
I don't really know.
I just said some stuff.
You think you're just incredible, huh? We'll see about that.
Good to see you, Aldo.
Did Take ever meet your boy that you were talking about yesterday, who's got the amazing intros? How big his knob is, isn't that?
Who's that?
What do you mean?
What was the one from ECW who used to say like, "Oh, I've got a..."
Oh, Joel Gertner.
Yeah.
Just Bradshaw. Deal with that fat asshole from Philadelphia, Bradshaw. If he comes at you with them stupid jokes about the sex he isn't having, you push him in the face and you kick him up the ass with your spikiest cowboy boot. Nice boots, Bradshaw. You kick him up the point of those boots up the whole of his fat ass. I don't give a damn if it's one night stand. The marquee says WWE.
Who's paying those checks? These checks ain't bouncing, are they?
You tell him, coach.
I love the gang laughing at Take, by the way.
Tell him, Take.
Tell him, Take.
That's my favourite. Tell him, Take.
Mark Jindrak. What the hell's a Jindrak? Put him through a table for Rook.
What a whiskey got myself in a gin.
Can see why these assholes went out of business. Get me Chronic in. Chronic stuck. Fire Chronic. That was a week in The Undertaker.
I know.
That was 7 days in The Undertaker's life.
Yeah. The babyfaces are chatting, basically. Grace says it's time to get extreme. Stephanie Vaquer talks in Spanish, and Kalani translates. Zari is surprised that Kalani knows Spanish when two main roster stars walk in. Not Roxanne Perez yet. Lash legend and Jakara Jackson talking about nearly making history at Crown Jewel. Well, they did make history, but they didn't win the titles.
Everyone makes history just by doing things.
They go face to face with Stephanie Vaquer and
Is
Julia.
that not true?
What are you up to next week? I need to pop into town over the weekend. I've got to wash my gear and making history at 4, then probably back on the road by 6.
Yeah, so they square off with Vaquer and Julia, and Vaquer says, "Let's show them hell." Julia says, "Yeah."
Somewhere the dead man doffed his cap.
Then it was time for Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley versus Rich Holland and Ethan Page.
This match absolutely sucked ass.
We have a real problem, and it's called the top of the NXT men's division. What the hell is going on this show?
Trick and Ridge start. Ridge got into it with Bubba, though, and Trick's like, you want to come in, don't you? Bubba comes in. The heels take over. Williams eventually manages to slip out of a double neck breaker. Bubba Ray comes in, cleans house. He goes on all fours. Trick springboards off his back for a double clothesline to take us to a break. When we come back, Bubba Ray's getting crotched against the post. Holland grabs an armbar. Bubba Ray eventually fights out of trouble, brings in Trick Williams after a spear that, I think I heard it being called back in Gateshead. It was the spots were being called so bloody loud. There's a
1, 2. Oh, he's done the thing on the count of 3. Would you believe that?
There's a flapjack to Holland. Rock bottom from Chuck Williams gets him a 2 count. Page makes the save. He sets up for the trick shot, but Rich Holland dodges that and gets the 1, 2, 3. Pins the NXT champion with a roll up.
Didn't see the old busted open ski guy taking a fall. That's all I'll say. This was. I'm sick of rubbish Trick Williams matches, mate. I'm sick of them. He's had loads this year, just boring, inconsequential, bang average action type matches. That there's enough of them now stacking up. That
You don't got it.
It's starting to undermine how like seeing him live made me feel, and seeing him win the title and all that sort of stuff. It's just like it's bad booking, it's bad matchmaking. Like, does this show suck without either Dragunov or what? Like, they need someone as good as a Dragunov to be giving Trick these matches all the time. It's not. Well,
At some point, he needs to hold up his end of the old.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Rich Holland, I kind of dread it. I'm dreading it and running for that match, but it's going to happen.
Bit like.
A bit like Shayna Baszler.
The post match was cute. But
Yes, you want to
No,
do
it
the
wasn't.
Oh. Interesting. Page jumps Trick after the match. They both beat him down. Bubba makes the save though. They do and the cock thing. And, Trick Williams, RT3 get a table. I hate the countdown.
Me too.
Ruins it.
Yep.
Trick goes to get a table.
I mean, how thick do they think these people are? I mean, they didn't understand the lights out, so maybe they were right to judge them.
He did add it in the TNA years.
Oh, did he? I didn't watch that much. That's funny, that. Imagine Bully Ray thinking you're stupid. Might as well give up on life.
But Trick goes under the ring.
Straight out of Dumbassville, more like.
No bloody tables.
No.
That's exactly what Ethan Page had promised. But then the Dudley Boyz theme hits, and I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Bobby Ray's already in the ring, mate. And then bloody Devon Dudley comes out, and he's got a table with him.
Buckety kicks off for 5 straight minutes.
Hey, how's he doing in that? You know what? Anyway.
Deal with it. Get him gone.
It's an ECW nostalgia show. It's like, these aren't on the roster. It's an ECW nostalgia show book. Does he not get it?
I don't think he does.
I bet he must. It's a good job he was involved in the invasion, because otherwise he'd have been like, what the hell is this going on here?
What am I doing here?
What am I doing here?
I tell you what. Bubba Ray Dudley's facial expressions in this entire post-match, when he was like, where's the table? His face was like, his eyes were bulging out, his mouth was like, where's the table? Then, Devon comes out, he's like, what?
Have a casket.
But no, he is like, his eyes are like, you know what he... Put the camera on him. You know what? His face like, what's going on? You know what he reminded me of, right? You only see those viral videos when people have had like, just come out of like surgery and they're still hopped up on the laughing gas.
The real the teeth removal or whatever.
Like, there's this one where like, there's this like lass who's just had surgery and her boyfriend comes to visit, and she's like, and he's like, he's cute, and he's like loving it. It's just like, well, if you think I'm cute, here's a good thing. And he kisses her and goes, the cute boy's kissing me.
Yes, I remember this one.
And there's another one where it's like, shadoodled myself. He's acting.
Have you seen the shadoodly one? Oh, he's showing afterwards. That's class, that one.
Shadoodled. It's good. So Bubba Ray's like, it's like, oh my God, you corny bastard. How dare you express such shock that the only thing you good for anymore has happened yet again. It's a Dadley Boyz reunion, and you're going to put someone through a table. And this to you, Bubba Ray Dudley, who's got nothing else going on, is it's like you've encountered alien life for the first time, and it's all you ever do in your life.
Oh, God.
Honestly, Bubba Ray Dudley absolutely stinks even more than I could possibly have imagined, and I think he's actually bad.
Imagine like Devon telling somebody, watch this, he's gonna bloody love this. Is he not expecting you? You'd think so, wouldn't you? Every time. You just cannot believe I'm here.
It's the stupidest. I hate my life and doing this sometimes. They treat it canonically as if it's an ECW reunion show. These guys haven't seen each other since 1998. It's like, oh, they have.
Yeah. I saw him in this building 3 months ago. Yeah. Same building.
Same spot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know they wrestled? You know they fought? They were in the opener because they had to get across town to Paulie going in the Hawley, so they had to leave early.
But he didn't shower.
Of course. Tag team, well, it's all right because he didn't break a f***ing sweat. Tag team opener against Tommy Dreamer and Anita. Anita did the spot on all of them. Tommy was like, "Get me too, Anita. Thank you so much, sir. May I have another?" Stapling the tabs to their heads. Grab the balls, and Anita's like, "Oh, falling over." They get Anita up so you can finish. It was good. It was like you felt like you were in the presence of greatness and Tommy Dreamer and the Dudleys.
Tell him, man.
I've super daddied my pants merch here if you want it, by the way. I'll show you afterwards. It's so good. It's
Super daddied my pants.
Just afterwards, good stuff.
I will do.
It's really good. But yeah, there's a double choke slam on page onto the table, and Devon Trick Williams becomes an honorary member of the Dudley Boyz with his glasses, basically.
What a hell of a night. Honorary member of the Dudleys and losing 1-2-3 to Ridge Holland. Trick's on fire.
But this wasn't just about, a big nostalgia show. There was still ongoing storylines to keep you hooked. Specifically, Ashanti the Adonis. I'm still so glad this is still going on. Carmen Petrovich is there. Dion Lennox is reading a book. And
that's proper frame book reader. I'm a sex addict.
Yeah.
Which is better.
But Carmen's not happy about what happened 2 weeks ago. Was this where I think I saw this? Was I watching this?
Yeah, it was.
This was the one where
she's
wrestling.
The girl in the crowd.
And he's like bringing, and she's like, "Who the hell's that?" And she's like, "It's my girl," but it wasn't his. He's like, "It's not." She was my girl that night, but she's not.
Trying to keep her on the hook, isn't he?
Yeah, and she kicks off, saying that you need to stay out of my business, and Ashanti's like, "Ugh, this energy, no, not for me, thank you very much." But then, just at the last second, hooks her again, doesn't he? Because he says, "Oh, hey, it was your birthday last week. Happy belated." And she's like, "You knew it was my birthday." Oh, so good, just reeling her in. I love it. You got like this, and she's like, "Oh, fine, I don't care anymore. It was your birthday last week."
What's the next segment of the show, mate?
Baddies say they're gonna kick the goodies.
Goodies bombed.
Yeah. Roxy says she's in the main event where she belongs, and we're gonna win.
Yep.
Basically. Then it was time for the NXT North American Championship to be defended. Tony D and the family versus Nunzio and Tony Marmaluke, of course.
Tony Marmaluke.
D'Angelo dominates early on, but they go to the outside and he accidentally takes out Marmaluke with a clothesline. He hits a belly-to-belly suplex on Nunzio. D'Angelo plants him up top, but Nunzio drop kicks his way out of trouble, hits the Sicilian slice for a nice near fall, and then they do the spot where the referee's distracted and they both go. I think Tony had the crowbar and Nunzio had the brass knucks. In the end, Nunzio ends up with the crowbar. The ref's like, "You can't have that." And not only does Tony D hit him with the brutal spine buster, there's the classic spot, not from ECW, I don't think, but the classic spot nonetheless, where he lifts up Nunzio, crosses himself, boom, 1, 2, 3, Tony D retains the title.
You know when Nunzio Took that spot from
I
me.
do.
When he was getting hit with the last ride by the dead man, I held that son of a bitch up long enough that he could cross himself 10 times. Yeah. This was perfect, no notes. Genuinely,
This was great.
Nunzio was like in good nick and ready for
He
it.
looks like the kind of dude who'll be like running marathons when he's 80.
Yeah.
He's got that sinewy physique.
Like he was.
How old is he?
Ooh.
I want to go with 51.
Oh, I was thinking 52. I was trying to send it your way. Yeah, 52.
He's 52.
Yeah. But in good ring shape for this kind of role.
Yes.
All comedy. And then
I smiled watching this.
genuine nice moment that he hits the Sicilian slice, gets the pop. Spot on. All of this spot on.
And even afterwards, Tony offers Nunzio the hand, and they shake hands, they embrace. I shed a tear, honestly. The family was
Just stop saying
united.
honestly, mate.
The family was united, but problems afoot because Sean Spears is watching backstage.
Forgot about this.
Brooks Jensen, he says, I'm feeling Italian next week. So what on earth does that mean?
Brooks was like,
Brooks always
oh, goddamn, Sean, they won. They're all friends. And like Sean Spears on it, like it's almost worth worse. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. It's like, you always want the worst things for yourself, mate. Maybe next week I'll get hit with a steel chair and concussed for 6 months. Just like I planned all along.
But
What's he doing?
It's the worst, man.
whilst you delve into what on earth feeling Italian means, I'm just going to go and take a bit of medicine. Rude to take it on camera.
What's wrong with you?
Got a sinus infection. You might be able to hear on my nose, so I'm going to take my.
I saw you taking it before.
I know,
the
but
podcast.
I know. Well, in fact, I've just got a little one of these just to clear the old nostrils.
We'll just
but
do it here.
Disgusting. I don't want to see that. So I'll just go. I'll nip out. I'll just do it outside so it doesn't get caught on the mic. So you quickly talk about what on earth feeling Italian means.
You could just do it like that.
I'll be right back. Yeah, but it complicates the shot, doesn't it, and all that. I'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, such it means that they're going to fight with the family. But when I'm feeling Italian, I think this is one of our few joined up food takes. I enjoy a cheapo Italian. Like a sort of 7 to 10 quid, 2 to 3 course meal deal.
We have
nice
a
for the family.
Sambuca's chain in the northeast of England that
Sambucas.
hits the old Spotsky.
Yeah, what's your order of choice? If you've got the 3 courses, or no, just 2 actually, starter and main. What would you go for at Sambuca's?
Well, there's a choice between potato skins
Yes.
or soup. It is potato skins.
Because it's a big old plate of chips.
Yes.
I do like the soup though.
And I like the little garlic mayo. Delicious. You don't.
I give mine to Adele. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 million times out of 1 million, it's pizza instead of pasta.
Really?
Yes. 1 million times.
Because you can make stuff like that. I can't.
No,
make
I'm not really a big pasta guy to begin with.
Okay.
And pizza, because the oven's simply not hot enough to do it justice at home. You have to get so pepperoni pizza for me.
I like the Sambuca tagliatelle. Like it's quite a spicy sauce, and it's not something I could create. It's obviously a restaurant
You
favourite.
could, you
Well, I
could
can't
create
yet.
it at home. Yeah, not yet, not yet.
You're going to teach me.
Not yet. Oh God, my arm hurts.
A bit extreme last night.
Yeah, you got a bit of a cold stack.
I know. I think I caught it back on my own in Corfu. I didn't realize Willie was there as well. We should have taken a photo, really, but we both goddamn forgot, didn't we? Didn't see each other, didn't get the photo.
So how could you forget?
Yeah, I was gonna,
Well, obviously yesterday on the podcast we mentioned it. I listened in on.
That doesn't make sense, though.
Doesn't matter. Okay, what do you think of the old Extreme Championship Wrestling NXT, NXF&T as I call it?
loved your bit, loved your shirt. Stacks, I've been genuinely looking on www.shop.com and I cannot find it, mate. So if you could ship one over, I'd be very grateful.
Well, you're right. I keep looking for that Chase U calendar. I really want one of those as well. A lot of guys and gals from ECW on the show. You, of course, you had Nunzio, you had Lil Guido, you had Francine, and of course you had Rhino. Sage, what's the deal with rhinos, huh?
Rhinos? They have big, massive horns. They are pretty aggressive and hard animals. Mammals, often found not in this country, but, in other countries. And they're got very rough skin. Very rough skin. Hunted for sport, which is a shame. Don't know what the meat's like. Yeah. Big animals with big old horns.
They charged, didn't they?
And they charge, yeah.
Question joke number 1. Why did the rhino want to watch some porn?
Straight in. Why would the Rhino? Because he got
the horn.
Because he got the horn.
He's not got opposable thumbs.
Funny you mentioned that, actually. Speaking of horny, got some questions, some jokes about that, actually, to transition into. Not many Rhino jokes around, gotta be honest, other than, I suppose I could ask you this one as well. Bollocks, a little bonus one. Okay. Why did the Rhino break his phone? Huh? Why did Rhino break his phone? Picture that.
Why did he break his phone?
He charged it.
Charged it.
That's
Excellent.
that was about
We've got two already.
We're talking about horny. You know, there are two types of people on this earth. You know, those are people who are aggressively violent, huh? And there are people who get horny around vegetables. You know, as for me, I come in peace. So, question joke number 2 for you. What do a truck driver and a slightly horny man have in common? Picture that.
Something to do with honk honk.
Yes. But I don't know what.
Yeah.
They both might say it.
What does a slightly horny man and a truck driver have in common?
Other than going honk honk all the time. I don't know. Oh, that's the answer, because then Stacks will have to do that.
They both go honk honk.
Well, good night, right? What do a truck driver and a slightly horny man have in common? They both have a semi.
That's good.
Slightly horny. We should have paid
That's the
attention
clue, yeah.
to the intricacies of the setup.
Yes. So it's Riddle-esque, that one, isn't it, really? Like we do those on a Monday and Tuesday, you see, Stacks. We haven't got here in time, but we have to tease the audience.
Question joke number 3. What is good about, getting all... What is good about getting all horny by your ability to see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, huh?
See, one more time.
What's so good about getting all horny about your ability to see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, huh?
Something about senseless.
Senseless.
Like, bonk you senseless.
Oh, God, yeah.
Later the tabloid.
Very tabloid.
Denise Van Houten's bonked senseless after a 3 a.m. drinking binge. I don't know why Denise Van Houten popped into my head.
Love read Darren Day.
Love Rat Darren Day, yeah.
Because I remember, it was about Dwight York and Jordan, about how I bonked her senseless.
The couple romped for 2 days straight.
Yeah, bonked senseless.
There you guess.
What about, sensory overload? And load is...
Yeah, come.
Coming in.
Okay, yeah.
It's a sensory overload.
Good night, right? So goddamn close, guys. What is so good about getting all horny about your ability to see, hear, smell, taste, and touch? You can come to your senses. See you later, guys.
That's weird, that.
Quite wordy ones to Stacks today. Bye, Stacks.
Bye, Stacks.
Well, they missed him, haven't I?
Oh, get out.
Well, oh, God, see? I knew that's why I didn't do it on camera. I knew I'd forget.
I feel like your entire life was building up to that specific moment.
And this is my... Thank you very much, everyone.
Those British Mr. Bean looking asses, he left it up his nose. You need to check out these guys' podcast.
I can't recommend this to anyone.
Where are we up to? Oh, yeah.
Main event time?
Not quite yet. We see Lexis King apologising to William Regal. I missed all this the other week.
Yes.
For not using the brass knucks.
Aye.
Regal says he's proven he's not his father's son. He's proud of him.
Proved that months ago. Years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Maybe about it.
the rank you
So
see.
he had one pretty, his debut was wow.
Yeah.
And then he's been coasting on that ever since.
Good one with MJF.
No, it was awful.
Oh, it was good setup. It
He
was
didn't
good
turn
build.
up. He had one half decent
That
one
was it.
against Miro.
Yeah, that was all right.
Anyway, the rank UCC walk up and Charlie Dempsey says, "Good try, old man."
Old man. but that must mean he's no, surely not.
He obviously Regal was talking about Lexis King being his father's son, not being his father's son, and he says, "Charlie, are you your father's son?"
But old man, no, it couldn't be.
Couldn't be.
Charlie Dempsey says, "Time will tell."
Charisma does fall far from the tree.
Charisma falls far from the T.
Yeah.
Regal says, "No, it's your group though. It's all of yours." Suggests that Tavion and Miles go after the tag titles. I'd like to see that. That should be fun. He says that they can all do stuff basically, and Ren says, "Oh, he's so father-like." I love Ren Sinclair. Father-like.
I hate this drivel.
His breadcrumbs are being left, and I'm
catch this.
Honestly, man, the contempt they have for us it's outrageous. It's outrageous. I hate myself for watching it. I'm not even that clever. I'm much better than this, though.
There's a Nikita Lyons thing talking about the Riz. They're going to fight next week.
Yeah.
And then there's a nice spot where Ava, she's going to say Rock's daughter, she's leaving alongside Stevie Turner, but Stevie in her arms has
Robert Stone.
To hand over to the EMTs. There's the tag team champions, those being, of course, Axiom.
When I'm cleaning windows.
She congratulates them on last week, and they are told about a meeting with the tag division next week where the new challenges will be determined, and Axiom thinks that's a great way to scout everyone, but Nathan Fraser thinks, that sounds like a week off to me.
Such a dickhead.
Yeah, I
cannot wait for this heel turn because he is ready to go.
He's ready to go, isn't he?
Yeah. A week off, more like. See you later, loser.
And then just before the main event, we see Francine leading an EC Dub chant in the front row, which was nice.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And then it was time for the main event, the 5-on-5, which was the NXT champion, of course, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, and the three people who make up Fatal Influence, those being, of course, the North American champion, Fountain Henley, Jasmine Nix, and Jessie Jane.
Damn! And she had extra no in this one because she cannot go.
Yeah.
And they were taking on Zarya, Kalani Jordan, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace, who yet again just looked
ex-champion now.
Ex-champion, I should say.
While you're away.
But sensational, Jordan Grace. More than ready to come up to the big leagues in NXT.
She sure is. And then I feel like the business relationship will be conducted and concluded with TNA.
Have they already bantered off?
Thank you for the wrestlers.
Have they already said, don't go to that Hall of Fame, AJ Styles?
Yeah.
Have they?
You're in a working relationship with them.
Hall of Fame, who's gone in? Rhino. Oh, we're using for a one-off nostalgia spot. Back you go. Jordan Grace, you stay.
Early on, of course, it all breaks down and there's a big 10-person face-off, big slugfest, and Kalani Jordan does a nice moonsault off the top onto everyone on the floor to take us to a break. We come back, Kalani's getting sent outside. Jasmine Nix takes out Julia and Stephanie Vaquer with a dive. Jordan gets back in. Henley breaks up a tag attempt, but she finally gets over, diving to Jordan Grace to come in and clean house, and she looks awesome yet again here. She hits a Vader bomb on Cora Jade to get 2. Jordan Grace and Zarya team up to hit a double power bomb that looked awesome as well for a 2 count. Everyone comes in, flies in. There's knockdowns left, right, and center. Here comes Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, though. But they get wiped out at ringside by a high-flying Stephanie Vaquer and Julia. Roxanne Perez is there. She's getting into it with Jordan Grace and Zarya. Zarya accidentally spears Jordan Grace, but Zarya gets back up. Perez tries for a Pop Rocks, but Zarya blocks it, hits her with the F5, and pins the champion 1-2-3. Not the only one, I do believe, in recent weeks who's pinned the champion. The babyfaces celebrates, and the ECW music hits to close out this show.
This is where, ultimately, and my overall positive takeaway in this match was this is where representation gets you, because it was still very much a case of the haves and the have-nots in terms of talent. I'm not going to name names, but it's probably pretty obvious to anyone.
You've just already buried Jessie Jane completely
through
the medium of song.
That's correct. there were also other bad wrestlers in this match.
I don't want to be cruel, though.
She wasn't the only one.
You complete twat.
She wasn't the only bad wrestler, to be fair to her. No, but there's lots of new talent in this division, but ones that have developed as well. And I honestly did get a good feeling about the lie they tell about how great this division is. The top end of it is great.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Like, I like watching so many of these well-defined, very experienced in a lot of cases wrestlers, unique individual talents. I was thinking about the Iron Survivor match that's going to happen, who exactly it's going to be that Roxanne Perez loses to, because they are, as you pointed out, setting up the multiple challengers. Like, if she loses this title, I think she could be main roster bound. Sid? And other than that, you've got now like this, just nice Jordan Grace, Zarya thing to go back to as and when that comes up. You've already established Stephanie Vaquero and Julia to have this little rivalry within a friendship sort of thing. You're not going to get, even if the division was better than it is, NXT would still be lying by saying it's got like the best women's division in the world. You've got like 7 or 8 strong talents, but that is so far and away superior to everything else we watch and cover in this podcast that like show it off. The division is in great health, and I think this was a sort of useful reminder of that.
I was debating about whether to bring this up. There's a lot of shouting in this match, wasn't there?
Yeah.
A lot. I couldn't really listen to it. I found it very difficult to listen to. Quality-wise, uneven. Some good stuff. Vaquer just looks like tiers above most wrestlers on that in that company, really. She's amazing. If I ever recall this match in about 3 months and we'll say, I remember when NXT went to ECW that time. That was weird. I remember Bubba Ray Dudley coming out of surgery looking like a complete dork. And I'll remember the shouting in this match. They screamed a lot, didn't they?
I'm just picturing like the busted open review of this ECW, and like Bubba Ray's on it. And Dave, the other guy that was with him at NXT, is like, and guess what? Devon came out. And Bubba Ray's like, you're in the ring, mate. You lived it. I was there.
His face was absolutely appalling. So the action was good. To be honest, I didn't really think that much of it.
It was a statement of a match rather than a match, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was telling you something.
It's good that it happened. Genuinely really good that it happened.
Yeah. Oh, well, let us know your thoughts on this whole show in the comment section below, or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Well, actually, you can follow all 3 of us. You can follow Michael Hamflet at
Michael Hamflet.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
I'm Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. The Dynamite review is available right now, of course. But for now, this has been the NXT review. My thanks to Hamflet, Sidgwick, to Stacks. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.